Good morning, my pretties. Not often I do a do-it-yourself type of home improvement video, but here's one of them. So I've got a little bit of black mold in my carpet. I'm going to demo my carpet, get it out safely with all the protective wear and a lot of research I did online, as well as consulting with some guys from Lowe's and buying some stuff and doing the prep work, getting the best tools that I can for this based on the expertise of others, to make it as easy as possible and as safe as possible. So I'll show you what I'm doing here. Maybe you'll pick up some things if you're going to do anything with your own carpet. I'm planning on keeping our hardwood floor. A lot of this is a mystery. I haven't seen this hardwood floor and hasn't seen the light of day in about 34 years. That's how old the carpet is. And so it's just got to go. It's way past due. So to start off with, here's some tools of the trade. Spaded shovel. That's going to be for removing the tack strips on the parameters. I'll show you how that's done. I saw it in some videos. I'm like, damn, that's by far the easiest way. Instead of these special tools for it, that's the spaded shovel. A scrub brush with bristles that are medium stiffness, not too soft, not too hard, just right. And also on the thinner side too, instead of a super wide one. So if I get to an area I need to scrub super hard, I can put more elbow grease in it, where a wide one wouldn't be able to as much. Pliers to hold onto the carpet while I clamp down and rip or cut with one of these pro knife cutting tools. Not just any ordinary box cutter, but these pro knife ones that seem to work pretty good online from all the comparisons I saw. Vice grips just because, hammer just because. I have no idea what I could possibly use it for, but you know, most projects require a hammer, so we'll see what happens. Some tape, let's see here, safety stuff. Oh, before we get to the safety stuff, some leverage bars, crowbars, might help with removing some stuff. Tackwood, we'll see. I think the spaded shovel will be fine there. Okay, so safety stuff. Eye goggles, because we're dealing with black mold. Gloves, high quality breathing mask. You can't skip out on this one, man. You got to spend the extra money. Some plastic drop cloths to cover soft material like furniture, mattresses, sofas, and a hazmat suit or a Tyvek suit. At Lowe's, I'm like, where's your hazmat suits at? They're like, oh, one of these guys. They were nice. Don't worry, it was cool, but it's kind of funny. Full coverage, man. Oh, and vinegar, because I am disinfecting. This vinegar, 6 times stronger than standard vinegar, and it's only 30% vinegar in here. And even still, this is 1 part water to 60 parts, 1 part vinegar to 60 parts water. That's insane. But it should get the job done. Let's go. I feel like I need to get one of those nuclear signs and put it outside my front yard to really freak out my neighbors. But here's my hazmat suit, or Tyvek. I feel like this should have a NASA logo or something. Anyway, don't I look cute? Covered head to toe, even covers my shoes. Pretty cool. Gloves. So here's a few things what I've done, not just for safety, but you can see this is all covered. Plastic droppings. I've got everything sealed. Let me start with this one so you can see what I mean. Like this one here, totally blocked off the kitchen. I've got tape from the inside of the kitchen around this whole parameter. You can kind of see that in the video. Can't really see it on the sides, but believe me, it's also on the sides as well. And then down on the floor, I've got some heavy towels across the whole length of that, which you can't really see from the side, but believe me, it's there. So point being, seal that off so nothing gets in where the food supply is, right? Black mold, whatever else might be on my carpet, dead skin cells. There's been pets in here over the years, and who knows what else. Bookshelves, it's probably not a big deal I get that, but it's mostly important you get the soft surfaces, like that couch over there, completely sealed off. And while I'm at it, I've just put my guitars back here as well. The stands that my guitars are on, actually, I've got them over the plastic drop cloth here, and that works actually really good to seal that off from the couch. My full stock over here, not worried about. That's all hard surface. I'll just wipe that down when I'm done. No big deal at all. In the hallway, my goal today is to do the living room and the hallway. If it goes by pretty quickly, maybe I'll start with start getting the bedrooms too. But even this, I'm not taking chances. I closed all the doors and I sealed the bottoms off with tape. So everything should be fine. So now it is time to get really sexy and get started. Okay, now I'm ready. I almost forgot my breathing mask. Very important when dealing with black mold. Okay, so I'm going to grab pliers to start with. These two knives, see which one works easier. They probably work about the same, but I want to make this as efficient as possible. So that's that. All right, here we go. Now the yard pickup, they'll take it in 3-foot long strips, which I was planning on doing probably less than 3 feet anyway, so that works out perfectly for me. And then they'll pick it up to 4 times a year, or 5 times. Yeah, I think 5 times. Okay, so here goes nothing. As I'm going along, like every 6 or 7 feet or so, I just roll up the carpet real quick and then go right back to the cutting part. And I can get a roll up, like this whole width of the living room, and I would say under 1 minute doing it that way. After doing one strip with a knife and pliers, I pretty quickly just stopped with the pliers. I mean, I've got gloves in my hands, I feel more in control, so went through it pretty good with just a knife and pulling with my hand. I'll show you real quick. So this method works amazingly well. This guy just have a log handle, leverage, it's weighty, so it hardly takes any effort. You saw how I did it. Just one swoop and then push down to lift it out, and just one swipe, and every time it lifted right up. So definitely the best by far and away to get the tack stripping up around the house. Pulling up staples is definitely the most time-consuming part of this, but through all the various videos I've watched, and also mostly trial and error, the best thing, honestly, is just a pair of needle-nose pliers, hammer, and a thin flathead screwdriver. Most of the time, I don't even need the hammer and the flathead screwdriver, but if there's a staple that's really down into the wood, I just tap, 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 and it comes up. But for most of them, and also for the ones that have to tap up with a screwdriver and a hammer, you just basically, you put the needle nose, instead of like this, you put it to its side like that, right underneath the staple, you pull up, and then grip and pull, and it comes right out. And so I can actually get these up pretty quickly just by going along, gripping and pulling, and that's it. See, not too shabby at all. Then here's another one where I'm going to go, look, here's one where I'm going to use the, actually no, I don't need anything. So there's another one just to its side, lift, pull, and you get right up. There's another one. Here's another one. Boom. Whoops. That one's in there. Here we go. So I'm kind of moving along pretty quickly like that. So works pretty well. Voila! And we have the final product. A product of hard work, determination. Someone told me I was moving mountains. That sounded pretty cool to hear that. But I'm going to end this with some closing notes and some other tips and so forth that I didn't go over in the prior little excerpts in this little video montage. One of them includes this paint scraper here. But before I get on to that part, I'll just show you my floor one more time. It's beautiful. You can see it with all the new furnishings. Guitar in the center is worth having a crush on for sure. Let's get on with this. So you can see there's still some dark spots. You can see at various places. I scrubbed the living daylight side of them. That's not coming up, and I'll get more into that in just a minute here. A little bit more here. You see where some of the other guitars are. There's still some more dark spots there. But overall, it looks pretty good. And the flooring that doesn't have dark spots, it really brightened up. And I definitely used some product to help that. So, okay, so to start with, removing the carpeting, that was pretty easy breezy, and you saw that in this video montage more towards the beginning. So I'm not going to go more into that here. The removing staples part and nails and stuff like that, that was by far and away the most time consuming, the most tedious, but it wasn't bad. I figured that out in, I don't know, maybe it took me an hour or less, maybe a half hour to really get my groove down in that, to where it was no big deal. I was moving lickety-split, getting rooms done in no time, even with the most tedious, most time-consuming part, removing nails and so forth. Removing the tack boards with or the tack strips around the parameters of the rooms with the long spaded shovel, key ingredient, long with the long handle, because it gives you leverage. It's just, I mean, I could get done with an entire room in 5 minutes with that. It's incredible. But going back to the removal of staples and so forth, I spent a minute or two in video on this video montage showing how I was doing that, and that's probably going to come out as a standalone video as well at some point, because that is the one where most people are going to need the most help. And the only problem I can really foresee people having with that one is if you're not in the greatest of shape, your mobility isn't that great, because the floor is down here, it's at your foot, you can't exactly bring it up and work on it. So I found myself pretty much the whole time as I was doing that, I would get down into these low squats, these low various lunges, where I'm putting most of my weight in my heels, my back is straight, I'm hinging forward at the waist to the extent I'm hinging forward at all, because most of it I'd be reaching down and pretty much upright with a slight hinge, shoulders back and down, you know, all that stuff. So I was able to do that because I'm in just really great shape. And then at the end of the day, I mean, it only took me a couple of days or so to do all of this, which is pretty amazing. But so at the end of those long couple of days, I wouldn't feel sort of broken down, tired, decrepit, sore. I'd just feel strong and energized, and I would still do my regular workout, which they're pretty vigorous. So that is the only thing I see probably a good majority of the population struggling with, is just being down in that position for such a long period of time, pulling up all those staples and so forth. So all the more reason to take care of your health, right? Especially as we get older. Otherwise, it just goes downhill. Let's see here. After that was the cleanup. Now, the actual cleanup, that vinegar solution that I found from Lowe's, a very concentrated form of vinegar, 6 times the strength, as I explained in an earlier clip here. That was a key ingredient to making that so easy and efficient, and didn't take any time at all. And I got that scrub brush that was only about 6 inches, I think, 6 or 7 inches, something like that, instead of a big wide one. So I'm able to put more elbow grease behind it. But I was able to get up any black mold that I saw, just came up instantly with that. Between the vinegar solution and that coarse bristled brush, came right up. The other stains I went over and over and over again, and that did not come up. So let me get into that part of the discussion right now. Still going to get to this, don't worry, I'll save that for the end, because this is a huge key part here. So the dark spots that still remain on the floor, I've watched a lot of videos on that, and that's a result of that carpeting has been down for 34 years, and there have been pets here over the years, a long time ago, not lately, but you know, with pets comes potty training, accidents, pet dander, all that stuff. And so whenever an animal would go to the bathroom on the floor, we'd see it, of course, we'd catch it and we'd sop it up and clean it up. But I'm sure there's been many instances that nobody even knows about, where a dog went to the bathroom behind a couch or something and it just stayed there and soaked all the way through without anybody ever knowing. And over years, over time, it goes all the way through the hardwood floor. I saw videos, people demoing, like they'll take out the hardwood floor and they'll show you the other side of the dark stains. And the other side is also stained, so it goes all the way through the hardwood flooring, all the way down to whatever's underneath that, baseboards or whatever they're called, I don't know. So there is no scrubbing that stuff up. Those dark circles are always going to be there, unless there's a few solutions here. And I think I know which one I'm going to do. One solution, which I'm sure I'm not going to do, is you can pull up those pieces of hardwood flooring and just replace them. I'm not going to do it. And then you have to repaint the whole floor. Or you could just sand and repaint the whole floor without taking up the wood strips. That would be the easier way. Or, which I'm most likely going to do eventually, no rush for it, I'm probably going to just take like a small sample of the coloring of the wood floor here, take it to Lowe's or whatever, and get that exact color stain of some kind, and just stain not even the whole floor, just those dark circles, and maybe get some kind of a buffering tool that can add some interesting texture to it, so that at the end of the day, my floor will be unique in that it will be artistically and interestingly texturized. So I think that could be pretty interesting. We'll see. We'll see about that. I'll make another video with that in the future once I get around to that. So that's what I have here. Oh, I also use some solutions that are made for hardwood floors. Real hardwood floors. That's another thing. The hardwood floor here is old. It's from I'm gonna guess probably built with the house in 19, it was like 68, somewhere in the upper 60s. And that's way before they started making all the different synthetic variations of hardwood floorings and so on and so forth. So this is like real beautiful hardwood floor. So I'm going to keep that, and I'm not going to overlay it with like modern synthetic hardwood floors and laminate stuff and all that stuff. But anyway, I bought some solution that's supposed to restore, brighten up, and so forth, the old school hardwood floors. And it did a really good job. Just those dark stains, it's not going to for the aforementioned reasons. So I'm really happy with that. And eventually I'll get the stain down and finish all this flooring. Okay, so as you can see, I'm barefoot. Pulled up lots and lots of staples, and mostly staples, some nails and tacks and whatnot. So how do I feel so confident in walking around knowing I'm not going to accidentally step on something that could puncture my skin and bleed out and get infected? The scraper tool here. I would just simply go along the floor, scrape along the floor. It was so easy. You don't have to apply any pressure. You just, the weight of the scraper, just, especially along the rows where you can see there were staples and so on, along the edges and parameters and so on. But I would do that, and if there's even a micromillimeter of something hard or metallic like a staple or nail or a tack, this will catch it. It's unmistakable. And then I can deal with it, remove it, and that's it. So I've never stepped on anything as resembling a tack or a staple or anything. So it worked. It has done its job. It's very, very, very valuable in that regard, because like I said, I'm not going to overlay this with other material. This is it. I'm going to keep this. So that's all I got for you. Feel free to share this video. I don't charge any money for this stuff, but I am monetized on YouTube, and if you subscribe, share this, comment, like, all that kind of stuff, then the algorithm shows it to more people, and then I get paid more money through the little ad things that pop up for a few seconds at the video or at the beginning of these videos and throughout. So that really helps me out a lot if you just do that, if you got value from this content. Well, bye for now. Mwah.